do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, do you do that?
Okay. Hi, I'm Lola Schumacher. I'm a freshman on the UW volleyball team, and number 30. I don't know if any of you guys know that, but that's me. Yeah, and I'm just super excited to be here, share my story, connect with others, and go Badgers.
Yes, go Big Red. So Lola and I were talking earlier. I did that so that my News 3 crew could get a different kind of interview, actually, so that you could see Feller School behind her rather than doing it now. But we got to talk about her. Oh, does she have some? Oh, your girls are here. Woo! Oh.
I'm good.
You're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh, I know,
God.
right? You got more Badgers in the room.
Interview.
Okay, I know. You're good. So Lola,
Yes.
You were talking about
Yeah.
being a kid.
Yes.
And I guess the first question, because we have so many awesome kids in the room, is when did you notice something was different with you?
Yeah, so throughout middle or preschool and middle school, I was always in the highest reading group.
Elementary, you mean?
Elementary, yeah.
Yeah.
Elementary school, I was always in the highest reading group, highest math group. I mean, I'm pretty competitive, so I held myself pretty high. I was like, I'm going to be with them, and end of story. And then everything was fine, no one thought of it because we kind of have a book club in our highest reading group, and we'd discuss about it, make a little poster. And my mom would be like, hey, that's a really good poster. I'm like, I love group projects, group projects, I don't really gotta know that much. So I could build off of what other people said, which was super important, connecting with others, which is, bless you, which is super important for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I learned is I'm really good at connecting with others and communicating. So in elementary school, nothing was going, it seemed nothing was going wrong. And then as I hit middle school, where you kind of branch out from one teacher teaching all the subjects, I kind of had a science teacher, a health teacher, a math teacher, a reading English teacher.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I realized, wow, I'm stuck. And I didn't know how to use reading in other subjects. So if that
Describe that, yeah.
If that was, I'd be in math and I'd get a paragraph of a story problem.
Oh.
What is this? This is math. Where are the numbers? So I was super confused. Health, when we have to read some textbooks and annotating, ooh. But that's really, it's actually helpful. Back then I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But when I had to use reading for other subjects and connecting that to other things in my life, that's when I really found out that something's off.
So who did you go to?
My mom.
Yeah.
I went to my mom. I said, hey, Mom, I can't read. And she said, okay, tell me more. What's going on? I was in 5th grade, so she's pretty confused. Because for all these years, I've been in the highest group, and that's something that is interesting. So I was like, hey, Mom, I can't read. I don't know what to do. And she said, okay. She talked to some of our other doctors, and I'm super grateful, but a lot of her best friends are doctors.
Nice.
So they referred us to Riley Hospital, Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana, great hospital. And I got some testing done, a lot of testing. I didn't like the testing because I'm not very good at it. Numbers say this sequence backwards. Come on, I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
No one likes that.
Exactly. So I got the results back. I didn't like them. I was really embarrassed. So I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my dad, which is very shocking.
Interesting.
I didn't even say the word. So actually, I didn't like the word dyslexia because I truly thought I was the only girl in the entire world who had dyslexia. So I actually had a code name for it.
Oh,
So
what was the code name?
So I've been playing basketball my whole life. And I used to play basketball my whole life, back in middle school. But I've always looked up to Steph Curry, not only on the court, but also off the court. So I agree.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I took away is that his biggest quote, which is, I can do all things.
Oh, yeah.
So I write that on my shoe. I write that everywhere.
Right?
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I've written that on my shoe for a while, just because it's true. And no matter how much work it takes or how hard it is, I truly believe that. So I actually called dyslexia Steph Curry. So, which didn't really make sense because I didn't make sense at all.
Whatever
but
works, right?
I know. So that's when I kind of was embarrassed. And as I grew out of that, I started doing a lot of research about what famous athletes have dyslexia.
Oh, cool.
Michael Phelps, Billie Eilish. Do you like Billie Eilish?
Ooh.
She has she's not an athlete, but she has dyslexia. There's more, but those are the two that I would connect with. Yeah.
It's interesting when things like that happen.
I know.
When you hit Google and go, oh, wow,
was like,
okay,
wow.
I'm not alone.
I know, exactly.
So what started happening after the diagnosis?
Yeah, so I began advocating for myself, which is super important. So I found something which I call my toolbox, which is like my little box that I have all my little things I can whip out, whether that's coping skills or my people. I think having people in your corner is the biggest thing, and that's the most important thing. For example, like if however many years ago that was when I was in 5th grade, if I were to be at a school like this, I would be so grateful, so blessed. I mean, my people in my corner were other people like me, because I think those kids have to work together and connect so they don't feel alone. So I'm super grateful for a place like this, and this is just truly an amazing experience because I know what I can do from coming from a school where I came from, and I know what every kid in this school can do coming from here.
It can't drag you down.
No.
And especially when you're surrounded by those like you. That's wonderful. You also had resources. So
100%.
this school is one giant resource for those who have dyslexia. But you used other resources to get through high school, and now you were describing some from college.
Yeah.
What are those?
I have a lot of tutors. So I have a tutor, back in high school even, I had multiple tutors for every class in case I didn't really connect with one of them, you know? So I had math tutor, science tutor, chemistry tutor, psych tutor, AP psych tutor. I mean, every single tutor you could have. And then a lot of other things that I had to do, such as Orton Gillingham. I had to do a lot of vision therapy. I had to do a lot. But
well, and Feller, I imagine those in the room would agree and know it, is one giant tutor for those
which
with
is
dyslexia,
awesome.
if I have it right.
That's just amazing.
And I'm just learning about you all. Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't forget to ask you anything yet. Interestingly, both of Lola's parents were collegiate athletes.
Yes.
So no pressure.
Yeah. Here we go.
What brought you to Madison?
Volleyball. I love volleyball,
Yeah.
but also I think the family it builds and the connections. I mean, I had no clue that most of them were like, that's, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know, I did not know they were coming, and that just shows that like how connected we are on and off the court. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without them, so when I came here, I told my dad, I want to come to a place that if I wasn't playing volleyball, I would still want to be.
Yeah.
And that's because, like I said, volleyball ends. I mean, injuries happen, stuff happens, and that was kind of my selling point, was not only the volleyball, which is incredible, but the girls it brings out in the future and the resources.
Yeah. And Madison.
Yeah, great
area.
town.
It's fantastic. It's hard to
Yeah.
beat. What are you studying? Do you know yet? Because at my freshman year here, I had no idea.
Well, we kind of have to pick one, but I think I'm going to alter it a little bit. Because right now I'm a psych major, rehab psychology. Wow. Which is, no one really knows what that means. Like rehab psychology, they usually think of like, okay, let's work with kids, or not kids, sorry, adults who are struggling with substances or something that they need help with. But what I like to call it is, I more say rehab psych, working with kids and adults of any age who have special needs, who need assistance, and who want to have fun. Because I want to have fun, and I like helping people. So that's what, I might just make my own, you know?
You can have your own business. I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I'd thought of that. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to make sure I don't remembered to ask everything. I mean, I think you kind of already said it, but one of the questions that was written down to make sure we touched on is, how would you, well, and we didn't ask this, and now we've got all the kids here, which is exciting. So how would you encourage the Feller students to set themselves up for success? What would your words of wisdom be? That way?
Okay, this is my thing. I've been in your guys' position before. This is always going to be hard. Every day it's going to be hard, and that's okay. So knowing that ahead of time and knowing that it's going to be hard and you're going to have to do more work than other people, that should be exciting. You know, extra work, getting an edge on some people, you know, working harder on and off the course, on and off the court, on and off in your life is super important. So knowing that some days are going to be way harder than others, and that is perfectly okay. Some tests, that was easy. Some you're really not going to understand. But knowing that you have your people in your corner, your parents, your teachers, your staff, and your friends is the biggest thing that I hold on to, because I wake up every day knowing that I have a superpower and that I can use that to my advantage. So just my biggest thing is like knowing that, look, days are going to be really hard, but that's okay.
Yeah, very, very good advice. And anytime, and all the adults in the room know this too, anytime you have to overcome something hard makes you stronger and better. You know that? You will be better because you will have overcome dyslexia. It's interesting, but true. Is that cool? I'm sure y'all understand it. Oh my gosh, more friends. I love it. My friends didn't come. No, I'm kidding. So I think it's a good time to take questions.
Yes. Question. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, Mike.
Oh, yeah. You get to hold that and
Fancy.
speak into it.
What did you what was your like feelings when you first found out you had dyslexia?
Yeah, I was really scared. I was pretty embarrassed because, like I said, I thought I was the only one who had it, you know? I didn't really know what to do, but I was pretty scared, embarrassed, and then a few days later I was excited. I was really excited to take this challenge on. I was super excited to be like, look, I have this. This is cool. So, yeah.
When you have an answer, right?
Exactly.
You know.
So I have this shirt that says, I was dyslexic before it was awesome. You guys should all get those. Everybody should get those. So, yes.
That's what you should sell.
I know.
How old were you when you found out you were dyslexic?
Yeah, I was in 5th grade. So, what grade are you in?
11.
So how old are you?
10.
I was 11. Yeah, I don't know.
You have a young man over here raising his hand.
Were you scared your other people or your friends wouldn't like you if they knew you had dyslexia?
Yes. I was worried that I wouldn't really have friends because, like I said, I felt kind of alone. But when you reach out and ask for help, then you realize that, oh, my teacher has dyslexia. Oh, my best friend has dyslexia. Like, there's certain things and connections that you can make by crossing that hurdle and just remembering that you can do everything. So I was scared, but that's okay.
Not anymore.
Not
That's the
anymore,
best
yes.
part. Other questions, kids, adults?
I have twin girls, one of them right there, and one is dyslexic and one is not. And I always wondered how you describe what it's like to be dyslexic in terms of a child and also to your colleagues and your teammates. Like, how do you describe, like, this is what it's like for me?
Yeah, so I get that because my sister doesn't have dyslexia. So for her, actually, she might be the smartest person I know, which doesn't work out well. But I mean, I realize that I'm very smart, but school comes really easy to her. And athletics comes pretty easy to me. So connecting with her on that is super important, but also realizing that like there's a lot of different types of dyslexia. Everyone, when I try to explain it, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I'm like, yeah, I have dyslexia. They're like, oh, the Percy Jackson movie. Like all the letters are just flipping and turning. Yeah, not a little circle though. They're just so, it's super different. Like mine, 4 and 8s, I get messed up, and then 6s and 9s, I get messed up, and then J's and H's. So there's a lot of words that I'll say. Another one is like, I used to not really be able to see punctuation. It's like periods. I would stop at like, and, sentence, done.
You also described your current
Oh yeah.
apartment number.
Sometimes I mess up our dorm room number because it couldn't be a harder number. I really couldn't. So I said like, what is it? It's like 4136. I'll say like, that's all my numbers that I struggle with. Like, what do I say?
Well, she
6,
got
9,
it.
4,
She
1?
got it.
Yeah. I was practicing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would just say like, you know, ask for help, especially advocate for yourself and know that they're not alone.
And know that there are many more people, kids, please keep in mind there are many more people with dyslexia. You just don't know it.
Yes.
You go to the grocery store or to the whatever Target store that you like, there are people in there working there. who
Yeah.
have it.
What is it like having dyslexia in college?
That's a good one. I would say like I feel really powerful. Like I think I didn't know if I would make it here. You know, like when I was in elementary school, I was like, wow, I have a long way to go. And now that I'm here in this room right now speaking is amazing. So I think I feel on top of the world. I really do. So you just gotta have confidence in yourself, and that's how I am.
Get older with dyslexia, you can actually get used to it.
Exactly. You can get better at, you can get better at connecting with others and better at what you're really good at, like your superpowers.
She's making me tear up. Don't be afraid. Are there other kiddos with questions? Oh, right over here. You can be a kiddo.
I'm just curious, once you got your diagnosis in 5th grade up through college now, have you had any resistance or lack of empathy from teachers?
I would say never from here, but I know you guys probably know what an IEP is, and getting that is super important because in middle school, I think that teachers don't want to put in extra time sometimes, whether that's extended time or writing out a word bank or making sure that you have like the read aloud so you can listen to it while reading your test. So I think that it shows that, yes, I wouldn't say pushback, but I'd say lack of effort. And having the IEP is really important because it's legal and they're required to kind of do it. So, and it helps. Like, it really does. So knowing that, like, especially when I came here, you know, I'm kind of on my own now. Like, my parents are gone out of that, but I have my IEP. Here it is. I'm ready for school. So knowing that and having that is super important.
You seem really confident, but have you ever had times where you feel like you're stupid or
Oh, yeah.
dumb and really down? And how do you, knowing that some of the kids here probably feel that way, can you give them
Yeah.
any words about how to overcome those feelings?
Yeah, I've had a lot of moments, and I still do. I think a few days ago, I was like, wow. Like, I had an art assignment the other day. I didn't do my best on it because I actually did do my best, but it wasn't good enough for the grade that I got. And knowing that, I was like, wow, I mean, I'm not even doing well in art, so that was really hard. But knowing, like, yes, I'm really confident. How old are you? 9, okay. So I'm 10 years older than you. So knowing that you got to start somewhere, and here I am today. I've had so many ups and downs. My journey, and up here right now. But I guarantee tomorrow, little dip. You never know, because I mean it's Monday, school's tomorrow. You know, it's not the weekend. But that's super important. So knowing that, like, it's super hard, like I said, and that's okay. But I've had many of the stupid moments, the many of I can't do this, I'm dumb. They're gonna come, and knowing that, like, no, go back a little bit. Know that you have a superpower and use that to your advantage. So we've all been there.
Pretty cool, huh?
Now, do you like having dyslexia?
I love it. I think it's awesome. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's super cool, you know? I think that it's super important that other people share their stories. And I think it's super important coming from, I mean, I don't know if you guys were here last year, but Jocelyn Boyer, also on the volleyball team last year, she talked. And I had no idea she had dyslexia till I heard about this. So really connecting with people is just amazing. And I think it's, like I said, a superpower. And I truly stand by that and believe that. So I hope that one day you guys can be in front of these people and talking because it's amazing and super inspiring.
Talking about it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. So can any of your teammates have something to say about what it's like knowing Lola? And I mean, you don't like the microphone. You know what? You're cool.
Okay,
you do your thing on the court. We'll be fine.
It's just awesome. Like, she's an inspiration to talk in front of all of these people and share her story. Like, she's truly powerful and amazing. And I just want to be more like her every day. You know?
That's my roommate, so.
So, hey, I want to make sure, did you kids all hear what her roommate had to say? That she's inspired by her and wants to be more like her. So that's going to happen. People will be so impressed by the fact that, I know she's
I'm good.
People will be so impressed by the fact that you succeed.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
People will be so impressed by the fact that you succeed, they're going to want to be more like you. It will happen.
Sorry, but Lola's gone through so much adversity, and she overcomes it every time. Like, the things she has gone through and gotten through is super awesome and super inspiring.
Woohoo! Yes,
If you have dyslexia, can you raise your hand?
that's a good idea.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah.
About. I mean, the bar's been set pretty high. Yeah, I had very similar story. Everything was difficult in school. Some tests I was good at math, so math was always the class I looked forward to. I even remember being like their age and like looking forward to having to do the times tables because I could fly
Rock
through those.
those, oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are my favorite. But then at the same time, having to do extra studying and doing some tutoring for things like reading and being in some additional classes to help build some strengths. Definitely had some more confidence issues when I was younger, but as I get older, I see more of the strengths that I have and I start to play to those. Big on having a network, big on knowing that you can't do some things well, but you can do some things better than other people.
Agreed.
So figure out what those things are, figure out what you like, focus on that, and then you can constantly be learning and you'll love it.
Woohoo. We'll start with George. First of all, just tell us your name. You want to hold the microphone? Hold it right up to your mouth. There you go, perfect. George, what's your last name? I'm just curious.
Good nature.
Cool. And how old are you? What grade are you in?
I am currently in 6th grade,
Yeah.
2nd quarter.
Second quarter, 6th grade, cool. So where do you go to school?
I go to school, Hamilton Middle School.
Hamilton, nice. So how's it been when were you diagnosed with dyslexia?
I believe when I was like 9-ish during COVID.
Oh, wow, okay. How was that like?
I had to go to my tutor every, I think Tuesday or Thursday at lunchtime or at like the lunch and recess break.
Yeah. So when you were hearing Lola and some others talk about what it's like to have dyslexia, could you relate? Are you thinking, oh, yeah.
Yes, I can. It was very hard and tricky. Sometimes you don't feel like you're smart enough to do stuff.
But now how do you feel?
I feel way better, and
Yeah.
I have Feller School to thank for that.
That's such an inspirational thing to hear. I'm sure all the kids are thinking, oh, wow. So what is the hardest part for you still, even though you have the school to support you? What's your hardest subject, for example?
Probably like literacy still.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
could learn everything. I could learn everything in literacy, and I'd still not be able to write one word, or I'd still not be able to write words.
And how is that now?
I think it's better, but you can't completely fix something.
Yeah, so you're still fighting the fight, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want people to know? Let's just say someone walked in the room who had no idea what this was all about. What would you like people in the public to know about dyslexia?
It will get better.
All right, let's hear that. Lola, where's Lola?
Hi, June.
Hi.
What's your last name? Is that what you?
Kepler.
Sorry?
Kepler.
Kepler. Love your shoes.
Oh, yeah, those are
Those are cute. When did you get diagnosed with dyslexia?
I was in 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and when I got diagnosed with dyslexia, I just completely had a complete meltdown. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it is. And then my mom got me a book about it, and then I read it. And then on my birthday, you get to do like this like reading book thing. And I read the book to my class because I wanted them to know how I felt. And then so.
That's super cool. When you first got diagnosed, what like emotions were you kind of feeling? Like what was obviously you said you talked to your mom, which is good, but what were you feeling? Like what was going on through your mind?
Well, I was very like frustrated, disappointed, and but then I realized it might change my life forever, but it's not going to change how I feel about myself and like my emotions. It's just going to change how I learn.
Dang.
What is your biggest thing that you love the most about the Feller School? Like what's your favorite thing that has helped you
Well,
that you want to share with everybody?
Well, my favorite thing that's helped me with Feller School is Miss Feller. She changed my life forever.
Oh my God.
And if you one piece, last thing, if you one piece of advice to give to not only your classmates but other people, what would it be?
Well, for my classmates and the younger kids, I say that, well, just be yourself and just move past it and don't let it get to you. And if you see someone knocked down from their learning, you should go up and help them.
Wonderful.
Teach them what you got.
Hey, I have an idea. The kids sitting here or elsewhere, I know, Mom. That was unbelievable.
I'm crying over here too.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for Lola or George? We can.
June.
June. Oh, Jesus.
It's all good.
I'm so sorry. You're George though.
I am.
And you're June.
Yes.
All right. So, while she has the microphone, does anyone have questions for June? Sorry. Oh. Any questions for the kiddos?
June, do you know what you want to be?
June, do you know what you want to be?
Not very much yet, but I know that I'm gonna do something big in the world.
All right, that's pretty impressive.
Wow.
George, do you know yet?
Maybe like something with art or animals, because that's my passion. in my free time.
Cool. You see the pandas coming back to the zoo lately in Washington, D.C.? They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple new pandas. We have another question over here.
George, how's it been going back to a public school after being at Feller School for so long?
It's been good. I miss all the kids and like more one-on-one learning and like sadly not as much games and except it's been good. It's a change except you'll get used to it.
I think this is the part where we are Q&A. So any other questions? Don't be afraid to ask. And I won't call you June. I'll call you Lola and you June. If you want to come back up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If anyone has any other questions, you can ask anything. That's, at least of the adults here. be careful with it. But yeah. Oh, there's another question.
For Lola, what kind of accommodations does the UW give to you as a person with an ID?
Yeah, so personally I get extended time, which I'm sure you guys know about. I get a word bank on quizzes with like a fill in the blank word. So I get a word bank. I get a lot. I should know everything, but there's so many I get provided. Tutors, of course. I get, like, if I am, like, if there's a word, like even a test, a long written test, I can have a earbud and it can read to me as I follow along. I don't know what that accommodation's called, but I know that's what it is. And then, oh gosh, there's a lot. I mean, there's so many that even my teammates without dyslexia get. Like every time we travel, 2 academic advisors are on the road proctoring our exams, or it's just so accommodating. But for me, I would say those are the big 4. Just being able to, and communication. I mean, I could call him whenever and he'd be able to help me, so yeah.
It's a weird question, but what's your favorite way to study? Like, how do you
Yeah.
get information in there?
Flashcards, memorization, playing. Like, I love flashcards. So that's like the biggest thing I found for myself and my parents. They're like, every time they text me for exam, do your flashies. Because that's what they used to call it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do them. But even, because you can just whip them through, and once you get in one, put it aside. I like seeing progress. So starting out with this and then finishing with that, I love. And it's very validating. So that was my big thing for studying.
All right, I was crying earlier
Yeah.
because, you know, what the kids were saying really touched my heart, and that's been my dream, to help kids overcome things that are hard. But what is our motto this year? Say it out loud.
We can do hard things.
We can do
so can
hard
you.
things, and so can you. That's our motto this
I
year.
love it.
So, like Lola was saying, it's going to be hard. There are days that are going to be harder than others, but we see that every day, don't we? Sometimes we want to give up, but we don't. We know we can do it.
Does everybody in the
So-
room know Kim's background? Because I just met you and I was like, so do you have dyslexia or do you have a child with dyslexia? This is me interviewing you now.
Neither of those. I was a first grade teacher for probably 25 years, and in public schools and in private schools. And then I really loved teaching kids how to read one-on-one. So then I thought, I'm going to get my reading certification and be a professional reading teacher. And so I did that. And then I went to the schools and I took kids one-on-one out of the classrooms and I taught them how to read. So I thought I was teaching them how to read. But guess what? They had to come back to me the next year because they forgot everything that I taught them. And so I kind of felt like I wasn't doing my job the way I should be doing my job, because somebody's got to help these kids. There's about 20% of my kids at the school that I would always get, and I loved seeing them, and I loved helping them, and I loved seeing those happy faces and them skip back to class. But I knew that it wasn't going to stick, and I thought, you know what? It must be me. It must be what I'm doing. And so that's when I quit the profession in the schools, and I started my own tutoring one-on-one with kids, and I learned more, and I talked to more people, and I networked more, and I'm like, you know what? Dyslexia is a real thing. And I was always told that that's just a money-maker scheme.
Oh.
Seriously, I lived in a bubble, which many of us do in college, in grad school, in my additional certification. Nobody ever taught me how to teach children with dyslexia. In fact, I didn't even know how to teach phonics. So you know what I did? I went on YouTube. I went on YouTube as a tutor. And I thought, you know, speech and language people really know what they're doing. I love those people. And they're just not in the building enough. They weren't when I was in the public schools. They were just part-timers. And they're like, oh, help me, help me. And so then I went on YouTube and I saw a woman on YouTube doing flashcards to the audience. And I'm like, this is boring. Is this really how you teach? A, A, R. B, K, S, D. I'm like, but I don't know that. I didn't know that Y had 4 sounds. Did you before you came to Feller School? No. And I didn't know that there are no English words that end in I, U, V, or J. Did you know that before you came to Feller School? That was a teaching. There's a code here that I could unlock. And so I unlocked the code for myself. And I went to all sorts of trainings and conferences and seminars, and I started networking with people that knew what they were doing. And then I thought, I'm going to open myself a school. And so it started with 5 little kids. We call them the Feller 5. 5 little boys, all 3rd grade, all struggling in school, all hating reading. Just, sometimes there were behavior problems, sometimes not, but they came, and so it was kids and I. And we went out together on this adventure, and the parents entrusted me to take them for all day. And so we did it, the boys and I never learned how to throw a football better that year and hit the wiffle ball and run bases. And, I remember I even taught a kid how to swing on the swing, how to pump his legs, because he had never been taught. And I thought, I love this, teaching them how to read, how to turn their attitudes, what do they say, turn that frown upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that is? Yeah. And then we played games to learn, and we had lots of fun. And so then I thought, okay, let's keep going.
What year was the 5 kids?
That was in 2022.
Wow.
2023, last year, we had 17 kids. This year, we're almost to capacity. We have 23.
Wow.
And we only have 12 kids in the classroom because they get lots of attention. And we love giving them the attention they need.
Awesome.
And they deserve it. So that's my story. It's a long one.
Remarkable. So many inspiring stories, right? We're all going to leave here with smiles and tears of joy. Tears of joy. Other questions for Kim?
I have a niece that goes to school here, and this will be her last year, unfortunately. And some days I pick her up after school, and she said to me, I said to her, Stella, you have excelled so much. And she said, thanks to Miss Feller. She said she has done so much hard work. And I said, and in return, Stella has done it as well. Thank you.
So I know there are some kiddos here who want autographs from Lola. I don't know if you want to help. Oh, one more question, sorry.
Could I get an autograph of Mrs. Feller?
Oh.
Because it's my last year.
You're in 5th grade now. You're ready to fly.
Yeah, but I'm going to
Of course you can have my autograph. I'll give you lots of autographs.